Hey y'all, what's up? So I'm gonna be doing a pick a deck reading today. You'll be choosing between the Ascendant, the Journeyman edition of the Weaver Tarot, the Pride Tarot, and the Wild Unknown Tarot. I'm gonna be using the Spirit Keepers Tarot as the significators, and I'm gonna be looking at the Sun, the Moon, and the Star in a situation. The Sun, the Moon, and the Star. It's basically like I'm gonna use this um, as a guide. I'm trying to get it together. um, as a guide, and so we're gonna start with the star. The star is a little bit of information on it. It's kind of sort of what you see. The moon, it holds the space of the things that you don't see, and then the sun holds the space of totality or the resolution of this. I'm kind of sort of going to fill it out as I go. So first I'm going to do the Weaver Tarot, then I'm going to do the Pride Tarot, and then the Wild Unknown Tarot. Timestamps will be in the description box down below. Also, if you click on the video, if you're on, like, not watching it on a TV, it should pop up with, in the bottom, it'll say, like, intro, or whatever the deck is. And if you click that, it'll bring up the thing where you can select the chapter of the video that you want to view. Um, so yeah, I'm going to take these out, shuffle them. I guess I'll do it all live since I'm putting the timestamps in anyway. I'm listening to Cafe Music BGM Channel's Rainy Jazz. I was listening to Rainy Jazz earlier today, and it's still the vibe, so I'm listening to it again. And we'll see what comes out. We'll see what comes out. I'm going to do these one by one. And I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this. If I want to put the cards in with the decks, or nah. I guess I'll fill it out. Okay, it ain't doing the thing today. How's everyone doing? I hope y'all are well. If you're not well, I hope you get to better. I hope you get to feeling better soon, or doing better soon. We'll see what comes out. What comes up. Is that the Wheel of Fortune? It is. The Wheel of Fortune with the Eight of Wands. Looks like there is. I've never noticed the ram skull with the third eye. And there are four wands coming out of the third eye. And there are four wands under it. I don't know. I'm really loving that. Oh, I'm loving how that's showing up on the camera, too. At least with my readers on. It's looking good. Woo! Okay, I'm sorry. I'm really liking how that's looking. Um, so four of the wands are being projected out of the third eye. Four of the wands are already there. There's an energy here that's related to the Eight of Swords, but not because you can't see it, but it's also an energy of projection. It's almost like seeing something as better than it is will make it so. In some way. I don't know. I guess I'm a timestamp this here. I mean, maybe not. Maybe not. I guess I'll create multiple timestamps. I'll timestamp when I pull the deck out, and I'll also timestamp when it's all the way like out. So I'm gonna pause this really quick, and actually I won't since I'm doing the timestamps, and since this is pre-recorded. I'm just gonna create the little note for the timestamps real quick. I think I've used similar decks before. The wild unknown. Only thing I don't have is the Pride Tarot. Threads of fate. Will cut and push. The wild unknown. And Pride Tarot. I guess Pride Tarot is number 3 now. No, it won't be. I can just shift this real quick. That's no big deal. There's this energy of like just taking it slow. Taking it easy. Who said that? Oh, that was on Bob's Burgers. Dinner theater episode of Bob's Burgers. That was fun. What is this? Oh, it's this. That's fine. I'm not trying to. Oh, wait, look, I got it. Okay. Alright. So I'm going to say this started at about 5 minutes. I'll check it, I guess, later. I can put that much effort into these, right? So I think every time I do this, so this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to shuffle this up. I'm going to flip out all the cards. The card above is what I'm going to use. I'm going to look for it in this deck after I shuffle this deck. The card below is going to be clarifying. And so you'll get a clarifier from the SKT as well as from that deck. So I'm going to give all of these a shuffle. A few shuffles. Souffles. I think I already shuffled this one a little bit, so I'll just give it some more of these. Excuse me. Give this one a few shuffles. I'll select the card from here first. Cutting to the man holding a heart and community. It's an energy where masculine energy. It's a space where masculine energy is free to be all expressions of itself, including the softer expressions. And that's the type of community that you kind of sort of want to be around. It's a community where you don't have to maintain masks or facades or anything like that. I'm feeling this one right here. Actually, don't tell the other ones, but I'm feeling 2 or 3. I thought it was 2, but I got 3. It's fine. Shh. So I'm just gonna start, and I'm gonna flip them off of the top. Or should I go from the bottom? No, I'll flip them off the top. So the first card out is the 8 of Cups. I love this. The 8 of Cups, the Archangel of Healing, and the Eminence. 8 of Cups is the Defector. So this could have been a situation that you were involved in. It could have had an element of commitment, not necessarily by anything like marriage, but a commitment of like time. It's like common law. It's like, you were in a certain space for long enough that someone thought that you'd always be there. Maybe you thought you'd always be in that space. But you healed out of it, and you're healing into being grounded and solid within yourself, where you don't need other people to sort of like love you or to validate you in order for you to feel like you have some kind of worth. You can love and validate yourself. Loving that energy. That's some major healing. And then the 8 of Swords with the Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands. I think there was something that kept you from moving on the things that you knew was for you to move on. Oh, there's the star. So the first card we're going to be looking for is the Empress. The Empress with the star. This will clarify. If the sun or the moon comes out and I don't know it, then we keep moving. It's more connected that way. We'll figure it out. The Three of Wands is with the Three of Cups, which is interesting. It's masculine and feminine in the space of somewhat prophecy. Oh, here's the moon. Oh, wow. So these are coming out in order too. The star and then the moon. And then the sun will be last, I'm assuming, if it's not already on the table. Oh, there's the sun right there. The sun is always carrying such an interesting energy. Because now it's the vagabond. Oh, I ain't trying to get no reversals in this. But I guess if I get reversals, I get reversals. They came out in order. So everything is as it should be if you chose this deck. Everything being as it should be doesn't necessarily mean that things are great. But they are as they should be. Wish I had a little bit more space, but that's fine. I'll work with what I got. Oh, I got 3 of these and 3 of these. I'll see how I feel. That may be how I read it. It may not be. So I'm going to give this one more. On this one, I'm actually going to start from the bottom. And I'm going to use the card under it. Or would it be the card above? That's how I'm doing it. It's a little easier. 6 of Coins, the 10 of Cups, and the Ruler of Swords are the first cards out here. The Queen of Swords... No, this is the King of Swords energy. The Queen of Swords, Sovereign of Swords, was featured... has been featured lately. The King of Swords, Father of Swords, actually came out earlier today. And now the Ruler of Swords is out as well. The 6 of Pentacles, you see the scales. It's give and receive. You won't get anything out of it than what you put into it. And the 10 of Cups is here. I love this 10 of Cups here, especially after the 8 of Cups, the King of Cups, and the 9 of Pentacles energy that came out before. Walking away from something, healing, and coming into a new space. From that new space, you can give in ways, or you're prepared to receive in ways that you weren't before. It leads you to the 10 of Cups with the Ruler of Swords. The Ruler of Swords coming in with an energy that more or less tells you that this is like something that you were sort of always capable of. But it required for you to do something differently, or it required you healing. And it changes the way you think about the process. It changes your knowing, enhances your knowing. So I'm looking for the Empress, which is the pillar, the 6 of Wands, and the 5 of Pentacles. Oop. Okay, well, I'll take that one there. I don't think that was a card I was looking for. Wish I had a little bit more room, but it's fine. Make do with what I gave. 5 of Wands. Nope. 6 of Wands. The pillar is here. Oh, I forgot I had the title card in here. I don't know how. 5 of Coins is here. And then the 6 of Wands is the last card I'm looking for. 6 of Wands right here. This goes here. So the cards we have after, it's the Nine of Swords and the Four of Cups. This feels like an energy of missed opportunities in the past, but will you continue to miss opportunities going into the future? At the bottom of the deck, or the next card was the Anchor, which is the Emperor energy. The bottom of the deck is Temperance. So there's a balancing out here between masculine and feminine, between the past and the future. The left channel, feminine channel, or is it the right? Hold up, hold up. The right channel, feminine channel, fire, desire. Left channel, no. Hold up, wait. Let me get this right. I feel like the left is feminine. And I threw away my cheat sheet. I ain't been in meditation class for so long. One of the channels is feminine and it's desire. It's the element of fire, and it's connected more to the past. The other channel is the masculine channel. It's connected to like ice or water. I guess it's colder, and it's connected to the future and like rationalizing things, analyzing. And so with this Emperor energy and the Temperance, and I believe it was it the Nine of Swords? I don't remember what it was. I just cut to the Fool. It's a space of like new balance. Not being so past focused, not being so future focused, finding yourself more in the moment, showing up more in the moment, and being more decisive in the moment. Building off of the foundation you have from the past, building into the future. Over here, it's the Four of Cups, the Hollow Void, which is Moon in Cancer. The Moon is what? Domicile in Cancer? Which is typically a good thing. It's typically, not typically, it can vary. A planet being in their home sign. The Moon in Cancer can run the risk of being overly emotional and not being able to separate yourself from whatever's causing the emotions enough to make a future focused decision, especially if the emotions are primarily rooted in the past or the future, but you're in the now space. Anxiety about the future, hurt from the past. Now, the next card was the Five of Wands. Top of the deck over here was the Ace of Swords. The Five of Wands and the Ace of Swords, it's an energy of like competing information. I'll just stick this up here. At the Six of Swords, boom. But I was supposed to put the Ace of Swords at that. I don't know what I'm doing. Stick with me, okay? We figure it out as we go. We figure it out as we go. I'm actually going to open these boxes. No, I'm not. I was going to open the boxes so I can get them off the table, but that's fine. We'll just work with the space that we have. The bottom of the deck over here is the Door to Romance. So this may be a little lovey. It may be a little lovey. Say lovey. Lovey. So I'm going to say this is about 1850. I'll say about 18 minutes. I'll go back and watch it. I'll say 1850, and I'll recap. So the bottom of the decks, it's this energy of needing to marry the past and the future in the present moment. And so with that, there may be some things, if you're someone who's like dominantly past focused, there may be some letting go of the past or some consolidation of the past that needs to happen in order to meet the future in the now moment. If you're someone who's more future focused, maybe that dwells in the land more of anxiety. I always think more anxiety when it comes to the future. And maybe more depression when it comes to the past. Depression is, I feel like it's not necessarily, it doesn't necessarily carry intense. But when I think of anxiety, I think of like things that haven't happened yet. It's like, what if this happens? What if that happens? I'm not quite sure. I guess it can be in the present, but there's some. Anyway, it's about reconciling the feminine and the masculine, the analytical side or the thinking, reasoning side with what it is that you desire, and not being overly desirous or overly analytical. With this door to romance number 33, I don't know. I haven't made it to the number 33 yet. And it doesn't feel right to break it down into a six. But when two threes meet, it's an energy of, it's like a perpetual motion or a perpetual engine. It's one catalyst meets another catalyst. And so they're able to better the other. It's like with the 33, you don't need anything outside of it to get it to continue to run. And so it's fairly self contained in that way. So the sun, the moon, and the stars are the stars, the moon, and the sun in this case. Ace of Swords is at the bottom of this deck. The anchor is it's at the top of this one, which is the bottom. The anchor is at the top of this, so it's an Ace of Swords energy with an Emperor energy. It's the anchor in this deck because they remove gender. So the anchor to me is something that grounds and something that stabilizes, something that holds something still, regardless of the motion of the waves up top. It holds it in place. And the Ace of Swords is about knowledge, it's about information, it's about insight or a realization. And so there's an energy that's kind of sort of apparent here or built in here of coming across some new information that completely changes the way that you approach life because your set point is different. What you anchor yourself in, your grounding point, your home base is different. The energy oracle cards that came out is Broken Heart. Oh my gosh. Fourth chakra Archangel Raphael and Victory. Broken Heart, the heart chakra, and Victory. Again, that feels like that Eight of Cups, the Archangel of Healing, and the. I already forgot. It was the Eight of Cups, the Archangel of Healing, and the Nine of Pentacles. It was this energy of like. It felt like you were breaking a commitment, but not like one of marriage or not necessarily a vow or a promise. It feels like there were just things that you had accepted as true in life, but somehow you've come across the information or you've come across the knowing that that's just not true. And so what you had committed yourself to living or what used to be your best or worst case scenario has now changed. The anchor is different now because of something that you know that you didn't know before. And I think with the Ace of Swords, it came in a way that you weren't fully able to integrate when it first happened. And so it required a little bit of living life. It required a little bit of disappointment. It required some setbacks, maybe some separation, or the opposite. It like required you to take on that information and then experience growth or expansion or healing to know that it's worthwhile. 9, 38, and 28. That's a 9, an 11, and a 10. I just talked about 9, 10, 11 the other day. 9 is the completion of one cycle. 10 is 1 foot in the door, 1 foot out the door. 11 is both feet out the door, out going somewhere new. So you jump from the 9 to the 11 and then you land back on the 10, which is the victory. Okay. So that's what we have sort of sitting here, resting here. We have the energy of the pillar, which is the Empress, which is nice because the Emperor is right here. Temperance also made an appearance. Temperance was the card that was at like the bottom or the top of the deck. This was the card that was right after. Um, and with Temperance, that is what led to that energy of like balancing the masculine and the feminine aspects, the past and the future into the now moment. The cards that you have sort of clarifying this star energy is the Wish Granted, and the Seven of Swords. The Nine of Chalices and the Seven of Swords. I think this goes back to kind of sort of what I was saying earlier. Maybe you got a piece of information, you experienced something that felt like the next level, or it felt like the next thing for you, but where you were at the moment it came into your experience, you weren't yet ready to receive it. But the fact that you experienced it in the way that you did proved that it wasn't something that was taken from you, it wasn't something that was stolen from you. Maybe you had your heart broken in the past, and because your heart was broken in the way it was, it left you scarred in ways that you never thought you would heal. But you come across someone, or you live enough life to know that you're actually capable of loving again, or that you are lovable if someone tried to tell you that you weren't. And if this isn't, I mean, it's the door to romance, so I'm not going to make this about anything except a relationship. If it ain't for you, it's not for you. Move on. Okay? Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. But something happened that made your heart beat in a way that maybe it hadn't in a long time, or that you never thought it would again. And maybe it scared you. And that's what sent you back into the darkness, coming after the star. But the champion is here. The Six of Wands is sitting in the space of the moon. You have victory number 28 right here. Clarifying the moon. Oops. Come on. I think this was here. Clarifying the moon is the sovereign of coins with the three of orbs, the mason. This is Queen of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles energy. You have victory in the present moment. You're sitting at the space of the sovereign of coins, also in the Three of Pentacles. I think you're going to be coming into a space where even if you're not fully completely ready for this, you're going to be wanting to work towards it. You're going to be wanting to make sure that you're doing everything that you can do to experience all of what you've gotten a piece of. And even though this is where the moon is, even though, like, I feel like there's this energy of like things are going to work out better than you fear. You're actually perfectly positioned to begin working on what it is that this has to offer you, and eventually you will be at that Queen of Pentacles energy. And it's almost like you're capable of being there now if you showed up and if you cooperated. I think this is saying that if you try, you're actually going to succeed well beyond your expectations. I also, since this is coming out under the moon, I don't necessarily think that you're going to be assured in that, or that you're going to feel assured in that. And part of me doesn't necessarily think that it's for you to, because it almost feels like part of this is about experiencing putting yourself out there when you're not sure and having it work out. Part of this feels like you actually showing up to participate. Because if this was the sun or even the star with the cards of victory, it's almost like you wouldn't try. But this requires effort. It's because of your effort that you become the sovereign of coins. It's like 10 to something as the sovereign of coins would. The queen of coins, queen of pentacles. Queen of pentacles is nurturing. She's caring. She provides. But she's not the Queen of Cups that she will do everything for someone who won't do anything for themselves. The Queen of Pentacles assists. She doesn't do for you. Or she gives you the information that you need to do it yourself. It's like a Capricorn energy. Or like she'll be there to help you like set the foundation, but at a certain point you have to take matters into your own hands. And last, with the Sun card, it's the Five of Pentacles. I think this makes sense. The sun is what you see in this situation. The moon is what you don't see in this situation. And the star is kind of sort of your hope or the preview into this. For some reason, maybe you think that you've already squandered this opportunity. You've already thrown it down the drain because the hands are open and the coins are falling out. Or you're not finding what it is that you thought you would find at the jump. And the question that I would have is like, have you tried? Or do you have more fight in you? Also, there's a question of like, is it not worth sort of investing more into? Because there's also an energy of an investment here. Altogether, there's four pentacles, which is an energy of protecting or withholding. But when it comes to love, it can't be withheld and exchanged at the same time. When it comes to love, you never lose, you only gain. The only time you lose out on love is if you don't like show up and if you don't give it. And again, it takes me back to this 33 energy of something that kind of sort of fuels itself and builds itself. I mean, you got the Six of Wands and the card of victory. The broken heart is here, though. I think you only see primarily your broken heart. And again, that takes me back to, it was the Four of Cups, the Hollow Void. That's the card that was here before. And it was that moon in Cancer. Excuse me, it takes me back to that energy where you're overly consumed with the emotions of a situation, which is understandable. Like, we're human and we have pasts. And if we come across something new, all we have is the past as a basis of like what to judge the new space off of or how to approach the new space. Maybe you were withheld. And I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. But I think it's going to come the point in time where you're going to realize that you can open up more. And you opening up more, that's what you're being assisted with. The Archangel of Healing made an appearance earlier after the Eight of Cups, after you walk away from what doesn't emotionally serve you anymore, or from an old emotional foundation that tends to more decay. It tends to more rot, or it tends to you attracting more things into your experience that you have to move away from. But after that healing and coming into that Nine of Pentacles, you're going to come into a time where you can be fully open. It's just going to require some daring and some bravery to be. The cards that came out, it's the Seven of Swords, Moon, and Aquarius. Seven of Swords is interesting because we have it right here. So it's like it's routing you back to this wish granted. But I think it's asking you, like, if you're going to be the one that stands in your own way now. The other cards that came out, it's the Ten of Coins and the Sun. I mean, the Ten of Coins and the Sun. You got the Sun for the Sun. Like, the Ten of Coins down here, the Five of Coins up here. Again, it feels like you feel the potential of this. It's reading like you feel the potential of this, or you know the potential of this. You just don't want to be hurt again like you were in the past. Or maybe you don't know if you're capable of showing up in a way that will honor this. But Pentacles, like, Earth is the slowest element. And this takes time. It takes time to get from the Three of Pentacles with the Queen of Pentacles to this Ten of Pentacles. Now, the Sovereign of Pentacles can get there a lot quicker because she intuitively knows how to care for her domain, her kingdom. But it still requires time. And it's like it requires a sunny disposition. And it's not necessarily a sunny disposition, but it requires you to actually like try to make this work, whatever this is for you. And again, it goes back to this energy that the Three of Pentacles was talking about. So if you haven't already experienced this, you're going to experience it. And with the Anchor, it's going to put you in a position where you have to shift and change your emotional foundation to suit where you want to be. And I'd say, look at this card. You see the heart in the cage? Let's see if I can get it up there. Is the cage open or closed? And who has the key to this heart? Walking away, 27, which is another 9. is behind this door to romance. And I think this walking away card has a Two of Wands feeling to it. Under walking away is the Angel of Balance, which shout out to that Temperance energy again. Temperance can also be healing and alchemizing. But the walking away card, it feels like the Two of Wands, but it's a Two of Wands that's made a decision. It's not still at that crossroads of needing to decide. This is earth heavy. The Empress is kind of an earth energy, especially since it's like the fertility of earth and water, but it's Venus, Taurus, and Libra. Three of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles. Everything is on the table. We got air in the Seven of Swords twice. We got water in the Nine of Cups, all the Pentacles, and Six Wands. And so there is a little bit of a magician energy here, where it's up to you to utilize the tools at your disposal moving forward. And again, like, you don't necessarily have to dive full in immediately. Honestly, I think if you wanted to, you would be capable of doing it. You might shock yourself more than anything else, but it feels like the situation would be able to handle it. And it would be able to meet you. With the Three of Pentacles, it carries an energy that's like the Six of Pentacles, but it's more depending on what you bring to the table. I don't necessarily want to beat this to death, but that's what this is feeling like. Again, it's like long term, what you don't know is this has the potential to lead you to victory and accomplishment and recognition. I think this Six of Wands recognition, it's also being seen in a way that maybe you weren't seen and appreciated in the past, as you are for who you are. And that's what's going to be, I think that's also why this Three of Pentacles is in the moon energy, because over here there may be a temptation to be like an enhanced or alternate version of yourself. But with the Three of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles here, what this requires to work is you, authentically, fully and wholly. Your heart will heal as you allow it to. And this will unravel from the 5 to the 10 with the Sun. The Sun will come out in the situation. There's lots of Seven of Swords energy here. It came out twice and I only got 2 tarot decks. So that came out twice, but at one point it was like maybe it was more environmentally focused. At this point, or moving forward, it's going to be you and what you sort of withhold in your experience. So that's what I got for y'all. I'm going to shuffle these up and move right along to the next one. Actually, I'm going to get you a final message from your deck because I'm about to put it away. So, I'm not going to be using that anymore. Now, the final message, I guess this will be advice. Can I get some advice? I usually don't like asking for advice. But let's see some advice. Like 1 to 2 cards at the most of advice for this. I mean, it's a really gorgeous energy. And it feels like this is one of those energies that involves a lot of healing on the back end. But it feels like you're coming upon the precipice or the culmination of all of the little healing journeys that you've had to really make the decision to turn things around. And again, with that Six of Wands, I think you're going to succeed in a way that you may not necessarily think. There we go. Bottom of the deck is the Hanged One. Honestly, the Hanged One, it's feeling like someone who was maybe ostracized before, or the closest you got to acceptance of your vulnerability was someone who would listen and then maybe like use it against you to try to ostracize you even more. And it's about realizing how beautiful you are. As you are, the Chariot. So your advice is to move forward. Your advice is to go for it. To hold nothing back. not necessarily to hold nothing back, but it's to move forward. It's to do something. Victory in the situation is assured if you show up for it. And if you're in a space and you're open hearted and that's not appreciated or reciprocated or it doesn't work out, then at least you know in this space, having been through everything that you've been through, if you can open up again, if you can trust again, that's immense, that's huge. And if it's not appreciated where you are, it will be appreciated somewhere. But now, hopefully, you don't have to shut yourself away or hide parts of yourself with the hanged one at the bottom of the deck because one person or a few people didn't appreciate it or didn't see it. Someone will. And that's going to be your ticket to moving forward again with that Three of Pentacles and the Sovereign of Coins. So that's what I got for y'all. Hopefully you found something of resonance in this, something that spoke to you, something that helped you a little bit. Hopefully. And I'm gonna move on. So enjoy the jazz sounds as I put this away. Again, this is Rainy Jazz from Cafe Music BGM channel, streaming live on YouTube on my television. No rain, no rainbow, right? And it's time to shine. Pride Tarot. All right. I'm gonna timestamp it here. Anything that comes out is for y'all now. Hey now. I'm gonna say 4150. It's International Women's Day, I think Zelda said earlier, and it's also Women's History Month. The Pride Tarot has a few cards like the Emperor and I believe the Hierophant, which is the messenger in this deck, that has women depicted instead of men. You know, the King of Wands is a woman. She's like a biker lesbian, but still, she's a woman. It is LGBTQ plus themed. That's the Pride and Pride Tarot. Who this? Let's see what this is for y'all. The Dark Horse. Mars in Leo. 7 of Scepters. I hope somebody ain't counting you out. Maybe there's also a black sheep. Yeah, with the Vagabond and the Dark Horse. Maybe there's also a black sheep energy. I don't know if you find yourself in the LGBTQ plus community. If you're not in the LGBTQ plus community, maybe you identify in some way or you resonate with something that your family doesn't overall. And so it's left you maybe feeling a bit outcasted, maybe feeling like you can't share the truth or the full authenticity of who you are. But the Dark Horse stands victorious. Hey, look, there's that messenger. Speaking of the messenger, the Hierophant. See, somebody giving a speech. It speaks to institution, physical, and astral. So maybe, I don't know, you feeling like you're kind of sort of on the outside in multiple areas. But eventually, we all find our place. When we show up authentically and when we look for it, it finds us. And it's the age of like the internet where you can find a community online of people which will at least get you to feel not so isolated and alone until you can find people in your real life who will accept you as you are, right? Hey, look, there's the King of Wands. There's the biker lesbian. Maybe you're into stuff that people say that you shouldn't be into. And you're like, you know what? F that. I did my time trying to be somebody that I'm not. I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm going to be me. Oops. That's a little rough for somebody, you know. Maybe because it's a little rugged where maybe it should be dainty. Maybe there was something in life that you were told to sort of just accept growing up, but you couldn't accept it. And because you couldn't accept it or because you want more, it's sort of naturally pit you against some people in your life, maybe in your family. I say go for your dreams. They're your dreams for a reason. Alright. So these are shuffled. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look for the sun, the moon, and the star. The warrior, the necromancer, and the healer in the SKT. I'm going to pull the card above it and then the card below. The card above it will tell me what I'm looking for in this deck that corresponds to those energies. This card tells me what I'm looking at in general. Thank you. And then the bottom card will kind of sort of be the clarifier. I'm feeling like pulling these off the top. Oh, look at that! Look at that! Ooh, ooh. Necromancer coming right off the bat. Okay. I wasn't expecting that. So, any exposition that you would have gotten, you've already received. The Ace of Cups into the High Priestess is interesting. That's an interesting combination. Ten of Cups, the Chariot, Ace of Pentacles. Well, you see this card. I was going too fast. I was wrapped up in the story. So you start with the moon, then you go into the sun, and the star is going to come later. This was the card before. It's also interesting to note that these cards were really close to the top of the deck. So for me as a reader, that tells me that this is something that's closer to the forefront of your mind or closer to the realm of your conscious understanding. But it's looking like the star is closer to the bottom of the deck. So you may not necessarily see the way out of whatever the situation is, because it came out fairly close to the bottom. But that's the energy of the star, right? A lot of times we wish upon a star. We're wishing for something that we don't necessarily see ourselves as capable of getting. So you have the Four of Wands, which is gorgeous, and the Hermit, the Erudite. The Demiurge and the Erudite. The Demiurge is the one who has the ability to write their reality as they wish it to be. Sometimes, or it's like most of the times I've heard it, it's had a negative connotation to it. Maybe because usually we typically think of a demiurge as someone who has some kind of power over us. But in this deck, or how I'm reading it, it's about taking control of your life. And it's taking control of your life in an enlightened way with the erudite. In a way that will actually leave you fulfilled because you've taken the time to explore yourself. Maybe while you were cast out or outcast, the black sheep, black swans. I just watched The House with a Clock in Its Walls a few nights ago. In The House with a Clock in Its Walls, he wanted to be a magician, but his father didn't approve, so he ran away. In his running away, he found other magician buddies who helped him with his magic. And it's something that he would have never found had he stayed home. So I'm just going to take the top card because, actually, I'm not going to take any card for this one because there's no card here. If I see the title card, I'll pull the card after that. The Queen of Cups, Death, and the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles showing up again. The Queen of Cups, Death, and the Nine of Pentacles. The Queen of Cups for me is a pre-High Priestess energy. She's like a mature female water sign energy. Someone intuitive. Someone a little motherly. Or matronly. I'd say motherly. A little motherly. Older. More connected to her intuition. Someone who's been through some things. I think this is someone who's going to be like spiritual or religious. Because the Queen of Cups going into the Death card, it feels like to me it's just reading as like a religious or a spiritual female who knows that spirit although they go through trials and tribulations, is keeping them. And so no matter what they go through, they're always sort of solid with that Nine of Pentacles, firmly grounded in their faith, in their spirituality, in their belief. Someone who's firmly grounded in their belief, and it's unshakable. Okay. So I'm looking for the Ace of Pentacles and the Two of Cups. I might have to go a little slower in this deck because I don't use it too much. Hey, but look, there's the title card. Oh, goodness. The title card is usually my mind your business card, though. So, but I'm not today. Ace of Pentacles, Two of Cups. Okay. Did y'all see that 10-9-8? Probably not. So here's the Ten of Wands. Well, first it's the Moon card. Then it's the Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands in this deck speaks of a spiritual journey, speaking of someone who's outcast. In this deck, it's someone who has both masculine and feminine, older and younger features, who never finds a space in any place because they are so many things all at once. And so one day they go to the Mountain of the Gods and they're like, why did you make me this way? And they're like, well, we made you that way because you can take it, because you're tough. And you learning to love and accept yourself, and you navigating through life, you can be someone who helps and inspires others who are in a similar position. Now, for some people, that may not necessarily be comforting. It's like, I gotta suffer for other people. Hello. But it's like you have an ability to impact others with your story. Going into the Nine of Swords and then the Eight of Wands, it's like you did it, you struggled through it, so that you can help others not be stuck as long, or so that you can be a shining light in their life. An example that, like, if you can make it through it, then so can they. They're not stuck out in the wilderness, maybe like how you thought you were. And then that culminates that 10-9-8 in this Empress. It's a healing energy, it's a nurturing energy, and it's an energy of cultivating change. I don't necessarily know how, but like there are motivational speakers and people like that who go on to make money, or like they make a living out of helping people. Healers, maybe you'll be a healer. Ace of Swords. So all of these, well, spoilers. Oh no, Two of Wands. Okay, sorry. So we're about reaching the middle of the deck now. So we're crossing from the more conscious to the more subconscious, which is interesting because this one at least came out pretty close to the top. Oh, there's the Two of Cups. Ace of Pentacles is what I'm looking for. Oh, there's the Ace of Pentacles. So you have the King of Wands with the Seven of Pentacles here. The Seven of Pentacles is a card of cultivation. And so there's this self-love and self-acceptance that you're cultivating out of no longer compromising who you are or your beliefs or anything like that. And so what you're doing is you're creating the space where you can authentically be that without as much persecution as you were before. Also cultivating a space where you can find welcomeness, I'm going to say 54 minutes is where the read starts. So, if this is where you join me, hello. This is the sun, the moon, and the stars. I'm using the energy oracle cards to get a flavor of the situation. I use the SKT as signifiers to anchor in the energy, and then I pulled around the energy that came before either the moon, necromancer, the sun, the warrior, or the star, the healer. In this deck, the Pride Tarot, and then we're going to read that. So, the necromancer was literally at the top of the deck, and so I looked for the title card in this deck, and pulled the card after that to signify. I was going to leave it blank, but I was like, I'll pull the title card. So the bottom of the energy oracle cards is the world. The world is an interesting energy for someone who feels like they're like a black sheep or like an outcast. Because you can feel like it's you against the world. And when you feel like it's you against the world, it sort of naturally pits you against even supportive energies. I've never seen Scott Pilgrim versus the World, but this Two of Cups reminds me of it for some reason. Because there was like a girl that he liked, and she had like seven exes or something, and he had to like beat all of them to be with her. Maybe again, I've never seen it. So we have the World, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Erudite. This is a very earthy energy between the Hermit and the World and the Seven of Pentacles. I think the Seven of Pentacles is coming into a space of realizing that your experience is what you cultivate it to be. And so if you continue to view life as you against the world or the world is out to get you, then it's like it'll continue to be that. It doesn't really serve you. With the Erudite, maybe there was a point in time where you were rebelling because you didn't find a space where you could be welcome, or you didn't find a space where you were welcome. But with an Erudite, it's almost carrying an energy of somewhere along the way you learn to love and value and appreciate yourself. And you can do that in a way that is defiant, but not necessarily loud, or not unnecessarily loud, right? Unnecessarily loud is like you automatically assuming that you're not going to find welcome in a space, and so you go in sort of guns a blazing, only to find out that like people are like, oh, okay, like cool, like we don't really care. And it's not like we don't care in a dismissive way. It's like a we don't care in a like, okay, like that's not a deal breaker. People are people. It's cool. Like it's not that big of a deal. When you find that the first time, it may be kind of hard to accept, especially if that becomes a part of your identity. But that's a lot with very little to sort of go off of. So let's get into it. The cards that came out for you. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Two cards from the first one. Archangel Raphael, fourth chakra, and victory. 38 and 28. There's a cycle of completion in here somewhere, but it's a brand new beginning. And I think it's that Ten of Wands. It's realizing that your journey through life has positioned you to be able to help or to inspire others who come from a similar background. And it's almost like you can make the world different or make the world better just by being someone that people can look to know that they're not alone. I wouldn't necessarily say that us against the world is much better than a me against the world, but at least you'd have somebody with the Two of Cups here. And again, with the Ace of Pentacles, I think this world energy is in a position of changing. So let's get started with the Necromancer energy. Let's see. We'll see if it's what you're not seeing or not. So it's Justice and the Page of Swords. You see the red flowers and the blue flowers. You see the scales that is just hanging from her neck like she's an ox, right? Like that's her little yoke. There's a little tiny lavender sword in her hair that she's using as a hairpin. This is the energy of a trailblazer, or the energy of someone who may have felt like they're born before their time. But if you navigate your life right, it's like you can be someone who changes the world for the better or for the worse. Someone who changes the world, not for the worse, for the better, changing the world for the better. Justice did come out. And with that stronghold of the Zephyrs, that Page of Wands or Page of Swords energy, you may be having or bringing insights that people don't even know. And again, I think that that energy of like being before your time. What's the message from this? Oh, that was really quick. Thank you. Now the angel is at the bottom of the deck, which is temperance, which is alchemy, which can be a card of patience or divine timing. I think your time is now, or you're coming into your season. Someone with a very unique mission, someone who has the ability again to change the world because you think and you operate differently with all this like swordsy justice energy. The gardener and the sacred fire are the cards that came out. Ace of Wands and Seven of Orbs, Seven of Pentacles, Seven of Coins energy. The gardener is a card of cultivation. Maybe you feel this energy, but you don't know the way that you're going to change the world. If you don't know the way that you're going to change the world, continue to cultivate self love. Seven of Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles. You got it twice. And I'm only using two decks. Which this is why I'm using two decks, because I was like, well, you know, if the sun or the moon or the star wants to come out again, I want to give it the opportunity to. And it did for the first pile. But anyway, back to you. I'd say follow your desires, follow your bliss, and you'll find fulfillment in that. It may not necessarily come easy. This is an energy that could be met with a lot of setbacks, honestly, because it's so revolutionary. But with the day and age that we're living in right now, post Corona, not even post Corona, coming out of Corona, where everything, it's like we're starting to realize the ways in which we were dragging our feet before. We kind of sort of need to pick up the pace. A lot of things that have been set and sort of stagnant or stationary or established, it's in the position, it's in the space of like moving and changing and evolving right now. It's almost like the stage is set for you to come in with this, whatever you have. And again, I'm not 100% sure what it is, but I mean, it's coming out under the moon, so hey. I'd say follow your passion with the sacred fire, and then cultivate it with the gardener. And it's sacred fire. So, you know, it's like a God given gift. This was the one with the older lady, right? The Queen of Cups into death. It reminds me of, was it Anna, grandmother of Jesus, or whoever Mary went to when Mary found out that she was pregnant with the Christ, with Jesus. And she went to one person in her family who I think was also outcast, but it was like the only person in her family who would have believed her. There's a little bit of a mentor somewhere in this. And it's a mentor that you could study under and not feel slighted or wronged or outcast or feel like you're being like taken advantage of or used. It's almost like the energy of, it's like there's a torch that's passing. Maybe you're feeling called or led or guided to do something that someone tried to start before, but they couldn't get it off the ground. Or it's related to something that someone started and did get off the ground. And they had to be the one to really hold the vision in the space and create it and bring it into the world, because maybe when they did it, it wasn't really a thing either. And maybe you'll collaborate together and it's like a passing of the torch type of energy. I don't know. Goodness. I ain't trying to get too deep into what might be somebody's like purpose or mission or whatever. Around the sun, the warrior is the Ace of Pentacles. So what you can see is like it's something like it would completely change the world or revolutionize the world. If you have a set idea, then you know how revolutionary it would be. If you don't, maybe you just feel like you're here to change the world. Because that's what the Ace of Pentacles kind of holds to me. It's like a new world energy. It's not the world card though. Because I think the world card, when you deal with the major arcana, it can kind of be an energy outside of yourself, or it can be an energy that has so much momentum that it's going to happen one way or the other. When you're dealing with the minor or the pre that energy, then it puts the ball more in your court. I think you see a space or a position that's not being filled right now, or how the world could be made better in a certain type of way. The cards that you have that came out, it's the Seeker and the Ten of Pentacles. The Ten of Pentacles made an appearance last time too. The Seeker and the Ten of Pentacles. The Seeker is the Fool, who has experienced some of life, who has incorporated some of the lessons that he or she has learned, they have learned, but who's in a space of needing a little bit of guidance to go even further. Maybe you have this idea, but you don't know how to make it happen. Maybe you know that it'll bring you a lot of abundance, but you don't know how to get out there. Maybe you'll come upon someone that you're maybe you don't see it, but you're going to come upon someone that could be that mentor or that instructor who, again, would be able to contribute. I'm not necessarily feeling be wary of those that you trust with this information, but I feel like it's worth saying for whatever reason. Just really, I think when you, again, if you are someone who's used to being on the outside, used to being laughed at or made fun of or ridiculed for whatever reason, maybe you think some people say oh my gosh, your ideas are so crazy. When you find a little bit of acceptance and acknowledgement, it can blind you a little bit to some of the red flags that may be present. I think, again, there is someone who it'll be very beneficial for you to work with, to learn under, or maybe to, again, work with, collaborate with, not necessarily be under. Maybe you're going to be creating a community or gathering a team of like-minded individuals, or individuals who are also revolutionary in how they think, or who have very big ideas, world-changing ideas. But not everyone will necessarily be able to keep up or to see it. There may also be someone who in the beginning they don't see it, but after a certain amount of time, it's you kind of win them over to your side because they see some of the success starting to come your way or something like that. I wouldn't say it's necessarily to be oh, well, back then you didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They all own me. Mike Jones. That popped into my head the other day, and I don't know why. Back then they didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They all own me. Type of energy. Maybe that'll be the case. And there is a very soft, they didn't know what they didn't know. They weren't yet ready to see what it is that you saw. And it wasn't for them to see, because if they saw it, you wouldn't have worked as hard or ventured out as far as you have. Maybe you would have given it to someone else. Now we're coming into the Two of Cups, which is an energy of acknowledgement and acceptance. It's an energy that can look you in the face and be I'm right there with you. I get it. I get it. Abyssum est, abyssus, abyssum, and wokat. It's the depths of me called to the depths of you. It's a very almost soul level understanding. And so it's the space where you never find judgment. Now it's the Two of Cups and not the Three of Cups, so it could be a romantic interest. It could also be a business partner. The door to romance didn't come out, so I'm not gonna make this specifically about romance. There's a lot of mutual respect and appreciation here with this Two of Cups. I've never noticed the Two Cups in the motif on the curtains of the window or whatever that is back there. But I mean, they're literally right there. Those big old cups. So. Have I ever looked at this card, really? I have. Okay. So the star of this is kind of sort of how we see it going, or how we hope for it to go. I don't know, that little cough, that little tickle just came in my throat. The cards here, it's the grotesque, which is the five of chalices, and the world. So if the Ace of Pentacles ain't world enough for you, then the actual world came out as well. I actually want to read this world card. So give me a second as I find my phone and I go to the book. Actually, the book is in the box, but I'll just look at it on my phone because I already picked up my phone. Pride Tarot, there it is. I was like, hello. Nope, nope, snoop. And with this world card, you may experience a whole bunch of people sort of coming around. And again, they didn't know what they didn't know at the time. If someone made your experience particularly difficult, I don't know. So, The World by Christy C. Road. My world card portrays Dante Oshun, Oxun, I don't know how to pronounce it, I'm sorry, an activist, artist, and educator at Legacy Community Health. The world asks you to note the synchronized moments that mark the turning point you are at. Trust what's in progress and bask in what's complete. The world is a time where we are able to rise above our trauma, own our mistakes, and honor our self worth as our consciousness is elevated and strong enough to fight and willing to survive. The world has access to all of their gifts, as their past, present, and future is finally integrated in one body. The world is prone to direct action, direct truth, and direct responsibility. The world is energetically aligned, broad in vision, and willing to listen. The world can see and feel the reality of healing as they walk through the earth in the truest manifestation of themselves. Truest manifestation of yourself, being boldly and uniquely you. I feel like I talked about that, especially with that King of Wands energy. I mean, there is like heavy sort of like black sheep energy here. Or like just someone who isn't like understood. Again, it's like feeling like you're a little bit ahead of your time. But now it's time to make it's time to make now your time. It's past, present, and future all in one body. It's someone, I think, again, it's like the more you sort of go into this with an open heart, more connected to the truth of you and the truth of others, less judgmental, less reacting from a traumatized or isolated space, more in the lighter side. And maybe that's the first victory that you have to win. It's getting over everything that you've internalized from everyone outside of you who just didn't see it, who couldn't comprehend or understand. And sometimes we internalize some of the judgments that we faced and criticisms that we faced from other people, and then we direct it to ourselves, or direct it at ourselves, and we beat ourselves up using words that we never would have even known in the first place if it wasn't for other people sort of doing it to us. But I love that this card had talked about being fully and wholly authentically you, because that's also echoed and mirrored in the grotesque. Everything that makes you unique, you kind of sort of cast aside to fit in with everyone else, and then you still didn't fit in. Three of Cups in reverse. Two of Cups upright. The Two of Cups is right here. It's about you being fully and authentically you. You embracing all the things that make you unique and different, because that's where your superpowers lie. That's where your mission and your directive and your purpose is. And so the Two of Cups up here, If it's not about a relationship, it's just really coming into a space where you can, this is self love. And maybe you were hoping for the day that you can love yourself or appreciate yourself, hoping for the day where you would find someone who wouldn't look at you weird or whatever, hoping for the time or a time when you wouldn't experience what it is that you typically experienced. And with the world card coming into this Two of Cups up here, it's like you're going to be coming into, like, first you are that for yourself, and then you attract that outside of yourself. And if you attract that outside of yourself before you are that for yourself, then you're going to still have to learn to be that for yourself. And then from that space, everything else kind of sort of begins. That's what I got. I feel like there's no real, like, resolution here. But I mean, like, I wasn't even gonna pull a moon card, so we'll see. We'll see what's up. You still get a final message, so I mean, it's just to, like, be yourself, and that's the advice. Fearlessly you, fearlessly and flawlessly me. If I had to title this, I mean, well, yeah, you know. This is so interesting. I don't know. These aren't even coded for a certain time or with a certain intention. It's just the sun, the moon, and the stars. And again, you may not see with that mentory energy, you may not see that there is someone who tried to do what you're doing, or someone in your field who is also trying to revolutionize something. And I think you would benefit from their experience, because there's no need to, like, reinvent the wheel or to repeat their failures. They may, like, if they didn't succeed, they may be able to tell you, like, where they failed, right? Like, maybe if they presented something to someone and they're like, they said I needed this, I needed that, and I needed the other thing. But now that you know that you'll need that, almost for somebody to, like, listen to you and take you seriously, you can get it beforehand. And so in some ways it saves you, I guess, credibility in the fact that, like, you're not going to be continuously going back, like, well, let's see if their crazy invention works this time, when you can show up with an invention that works the first time. You know what I mean? Okay, final message, some advice. Um, and it reminds me of a friend who is pioneering in her own way. And then she finds out that someone in her family was a pioneer as well. A lot closer than you sort of imagine. And it's a wellspring of information for you to utilize and tap into. Okay. Some advice, final message. Just like one card, please. 2 cards. Usually I say however many you need to get the point across, but if nothing comes out, I think I might actually just leave it there. I'll give it 5 more shuffles. 4 more. There we go. Is that the lovers? It is the lovers. Bottom of the deck is the King of Cups. Archangel of Healing type of energy. I don't think I saw the Archangel of Healing. Did I? No, because the moon came out first. The lovers and the King of Cups. This is Gemini energy and Scorpio energy. The moon is in Scorpio right now, and Mars is about to enter Gemini. An army of lovers cannot lose, is the message here. As long as your intentions are right and your actions align with those pure intentions or higher intentions, it's like whatever you are on the cusp or the brink of doing, whatever it is your divine right to bring into the world with that 10 of Wands energy that came out earlier, it's like you're going to do it and you cannot lose, you cannot be stopped. Maybe delayed in your own, like, mind. It may not happen in the time that you think it'll happen. It may require multiple attempts. But with the King of Cups, it's this energy of, like, not necessarily being swayed. It was the Queen of Cups earlier, it's the King of Cups now with the lovers. It's the marriage of masculine and feminine in the space of connection and spirituality. It could be a spiritually focused business. It could be a relationship in which like you're both spiritual. But beyond that, I think it's a softer way about going, a softer way of doing things. With the King of Cups is one of like the most effeminate kings, right? And not necessarily, but it's the king energy that's the closest to feminine energy. It's the king that's the closest to feminine energy. And so it's about that self-love and that self-acceptance and standing strong in that and firm in that and not needing to project anything that you aren't or not needing to change yourself to be more palpable or palatable or to change yourself into what you think something or someone would want. Because when you're not authentically yourself, people can tell. If there's just like something missing. It's that spark, which was the Ace of Wands. And it's like, even if the world turns its back on you, like, don't you dare turn your back on yourself. Don't you dare talk down to yourself or make yourself feel even worse. Because at the end of the day, it may not be like you against the world may not be the healthiest dynamic to be manifesting. But at the end of the day, all you have is you to love. And like you can be the one person that you can count on to always be in your corner regardless. Now that is again something that you may have to work towards, but it's something worthy and worthwhile. So that's what I got for y'all. Now last but not least, coming to the table, the wild unknown. I don't know how I feel about this. Honestly, I don't know. I'll post them. You know, if they resonate for somebody, I hope they resonate for you. If you find this, I hope you have a good whatever whenever you see this. I say that. Check out the final shuffle between the SKT and the Energy Oracle cards, timestamp if you want. So I'm gonna timestamp this now. I'll say 122.55 for the wild unknown. All right, so let's get into this, shall we? Even though that was closer to a minute and 23, an hour and 23 minutes. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Sorry. Ooh, the Nine of Swords and the Nine of Pentacles. Oh, goodness. Where y'all taking me? Down the rabbit hole, Alice. Oh, but the Six of Wands with the Nine of Swords. Okay, alright. So we ain't got to go too far down the rabbit hole. We ain't like going Scorpio deep. Mother of Cups. Yeah, definitely not going Scorpio deep. Okay. I can do a little Cancerian. I can do some Cancerian Mother of Cups, Cardinal Water energy. The Queen of Cups just made an appearance, didn't she? Oh, snap. Who was that? I don't know. Y'all get a mystery card. I ain't had that before. Where are y'all taking me? Where are we going? Okay. So how this is gonna work is I'm gonna shuffle up the Spirit Keeper's Tarot as your significators. I'm gonna pull from either the top or the bottom, however I feel it. The card above will hold the space for what I look for in this deck. Above the sun, the moon, or the star. The card below is what I'm actually going to read, and then I'm going to start with an energy oracle card that's going to give the energy of like the situation at hand, the larger thing, right? And that's how this is going to work. You already got a mystery card, so I'm excited to see what that is. It feels like the sun a little bit. I don't know. It feels bright. It may not be the sun. It could be like the SON. It could be a night because the nights are suns in this deck. Watch it be like the moon or something. I don't know if I'm deep enough into the energy to be able to tell. Oh, another mystery card. Let's do it. And we'll start right here. I'll pull from the top of the deck. So you're starting with the Journeyman, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Star. The Journeyman and the Ace of Pentacles. This is about the Journeyman is in this deck especially. It's a card of mastery coming into your spiritual gifts and abilities. The Ace of Wands or the Ace of Orbs sitting in this tree right there in the staff, like that's your magic. And then like there's literally the ace right there. So it's like you've healed into it. I don't know. You've healed into your magic. Where are y'all taking me? Where are we going? We're going on a trip in our favorite rocket ship, zooming through the star sky. It has to be sky. Little Einsteins, right? Sky Einsteins. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, look, there's the moon. Okay, this is coming out easy. They're coming out easy. They're coming out in order. There's the death card, which is scorpionic energy. I literally just said we ain't going Scorpio deep, are we? The wild unknown said we might be. And look, then there's the sun. Okay. So I'm actually going to take that Eight of Pentacles. Wow. Those came out right up off the top. And again, I said, like, we ain't going like Scorpio deep, are we? And then like the Queen of Cups came out. I was like, oh no, it's like Cancer. Like, this ain't deep at all. It's like it's cardinal water. It's the first water you hit in the zodiac wheel. And they all literally came out within the first 9 cards. So, huh. Bottom of the deck is the Haunt, the Nine of Swords. So it might be that deep. Goodness. Make up your mind. Make up your energy pile too. Goodness. I'm just playing. The Ace of Pentacles, Death, and the Eight of Pentacles. Well, it was the Eight of Pentacles into the Ace, into the Star. Now it's the Ace, Death, into the Eight. There's an energy of having to revisit something, and maybe that's what this Nine of Pentacles is down here. Oh, our Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords is Mars and Gemini, y'all. Mars moves into Gemini tonight. Oh, Nine of Swords, right before we move into Aries season. Goodness. And Mars was in Aries like all year last year. Or for the upper majority of the year, right? Like 6 months or something like that. It came out in January. It went in around June, I think. I don't remember when it went into Mars. Okay. So I'm going to be looking for the Ace of Pentacles, Death, and the Eight of Pentacles. We're starting with the Ten of Pentacles, the Seven of Wands, and the Father of Pentacles. The Ten of Pentacles, the Seven of Wands, and the Father of Pentacles. There's a little bit of a defiant energy here. Maybe with this Nine of Swords, you're going to have to make a choice or a decision. Maybe you were working hard to establish something within yourself and for yourself. You were encountering opposition or people who were actively making your life more difficult. So you had to separate yourself in some way. Now that you've made it to the Father of Pentacles, or you're more grounded and established, the Moon card. You don't know. I'm not going to say anymore. We'll find out. I feel like now that you're more grounded and established, people may be coming back. And you may not know how to interact with these energies. It may be like it's the space of people that you love and you care about, but it's like every time you try to, like, every time you make some forward progress, some forward movement, you get yourself in a good space. Someone else comes to drag you back down. And with the Nine of Swords, it's like I don't really want to go back there anymore. I want to keep moving forward. But I also don't necessarily just want to leave this person hanging out either. What do? I don't know, girl. That's on you. We'll see. We'll see if we get you anything. That's a rough spot to be in. Oh, oh wow! Look at this little string of majors right here. Hold up. Both of these carry a Cancerian energy. Okay, it's actually one more than I thought. So there's. We'll start before, because this popped out to me for some reason. Here's the Sign of Pentacles. You came into the space of the Father of Pentacles. Here's the Sign of Pentacles. Head is down. It's dark. They in the moon. Maybe someone is dependent on you for something in some way. They thought they was bad and they can do it all on their own. They threw they made a whole scene. Maybe because you're like, hey, like I'm coming into a space where I want to progress forward and I love you, but I can't keep running these cycles. I can't keep repeating these patterns. I gotta move forward. Maybe they was like, fine, I don't need you anyway. And so you went off and healed yourself. In the space of your healing, maybe you're recognizing or realizing how much of a burden that was on you. And not to say it like that, but it's like maybe you were trying to do things for someone else that they weren't fully ready to accept or receive or do for themselves. And so you were putting in a disproportionate amount of energy. Like you were putting more energy into their situation than they were. And all it did is it led them to be more dependent upon you in a way that maybe you can't continue to be. So we have the Judgment card, into the Chariot, into the High Priestess, into the Hierophant, into the Devil. What's after that? The Four of Swords. Okay. So that's our string of majors. Maybe you decided to move on because something within you knew that if you stayed stuck in a situation, it would turn into this whole karmic thing that it would be really difficult to get out of. It's like you made the call, you started moving forward. You knew or you know, you have a feeling that they're going to come back. And it's like that cycle, that pattern has to be broken somewhere. I don't know. Take it as it resonates always. If it ain't yours, don't take it. What am I looking for? Death, Ace of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles. Okay. Man, it's like all of these cards came out in the first 9, but how deep I gotta go into the wild unknown to get any of this. Hello? That was a pretty good string of cards. Oh, here's the Ace of Pentacles. Finally found something. Goodness. We're literally going to be running the top of the deck. Okay. Which is the bottom. But, excuse me, hello? Unless this is the Eight of Pentacles that already came out. Did I miss the Eight of Pentacles? The Eight of Pentacles is the spider. I haven't seen it. So it has to be the card that already came out. I'm just going to shuffle. Or not shuffle. I'm going to look back through these real quick. I don't think I saw it. See, y'all, this one is so interesting. It's like, is it gonna be that deep or is it not gonna be that deep? It ain't gonna be that deep, but it is gonna be that deep, but it's not that deep. Like, it's not that deep, but it kind of sort of is that deep. You know what I mean? But it's not. Like, it's not a big deal. It's not that deep, but it's kind of important. Yeah, the Eight of Pentacles isn't here. It has to be that face down card. So to me, that's like y'all in the sun energy off the jump before these even came out. Y'all was already there. Y'all's already positioned. So what's all this about? Is this all gonna be in the past or something? Like, The Mother of Pentacles is at the top of the deck, which is interesting. You know, maybe it was like you were in the Father of Pentacles and it was like, oh, what's going to happen? Maybe they come back. Oh, that's the daughter. LOL. I said the mother. That's the daughter of Pentacles. So a step, not a step below the Son of Pentacles, but, you know, the daughters come before the sons. But with the daughter, it could be an energy of like wanting to build or establish. I don't know. We'll get into it. Okay, give me. I want this one to hit the table. Like 1 or 2, please. Please don't drop like 5. There we go. It flipped over. Ooh, girl. Bottom of the deck is financial constraints. With financial constraints, I'm actually going to read this more as familial or health. We'll leave it at financial constraints for now. Pentacles can be family, health, wealth, anything earthly. It's feeling a little bit more familial. Maybe some family issues. Maybe not. Oh, I was like, excuse me, where did my card go? I think it's this one. So I'll just put those there. We have 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel. I'm actually going to read that from the book. Y'all only got 1 card. The first one got 3 cards. The second one got 2 cards. 3, 2, 1. It's the countdown. It's the final countdown. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. I'm sorry. Oh gosh. Okay. Can y'all tell I'm ready to go to bed? Alright. Let's find what's her number? Number 41, which is a 5. 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel. Or Uriel. There's 40. 41. So, 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel. This is spirit, connections, intuition, and inspiration. The beautiful angel Uriel, also called the Fire of God, wears a brilliant crystal crown vibrating with a passionate connection to the divine. She brings great power to your 7th energy center, which is called the crown chakra, and is located at the top of your head. This card upright indicates an open and free-flowing channel of information and inspiration from the wonderful beings in the spirit world. This could also be a time of great intuition for you and guidance from your higher awareness, so allow yourself to quiet your mind and listen. Now is a great time to get connected. The assistance from Spirit is great, and whether it's the presence of an ascended master, a powerful angel like Uriel, or just a loving friend or family member in spirit, their love and willingness to assist is always there. They even open you to the Akashic Records, or Alaya consciousness, the storehouse of all information. This connection is open now, and you will find that your own spirit and the spirits of those around you will be able to provide the answers you seek and the blessings you desire and deserve. The affirmation here is, because I want to read it for you, my 7th chakra is open to its perfect healthy state. Love and inspiration from spirit and my own intuition flow fully to me now. When I said that, for some reason, when it was talking about spirits around you, ascended masters or archangels, a powerful angel, or just a loving friend or family member in spirit, maybe there was somebody that you lost with this financial constraints. Again, financial constraints, it's feeling more familial than money to me. If it's money for you, then hold up. If it's money to you, this may not resonate. It was family or someone that was as close as family. They say that the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb, right? Blood is thicker than water. But with financial constraints, it's like they're lost. You lost a family member. You lost someone that felt like family. Maybe they passed. Maybe they didn't pass, and you two just aren't connected for whatever reason. But it's like they look at you lovingly. And with this Daughter of Pentacles, it almost feels like their spirit is trying to reach you in a way in your day to day life. Like they're trying to give you signs. But with the Nine of Swords, you're not seeing them or seeing the signs. It's like it's actually painful. So, like, if you did lose somebody, and like for some, I don't know why chickadee just popped into my into my brain. Maybe somebody was like my little chickadee, or like Tweety Bird, Tweety and a chickadee. Is Tweety a chickadee? I don't know. But maybe there's something that they called you, something that y'all used to do together, or a song that used to come on that reminds you of them. But it makes you sad. And so you don't necessarily receive the message as like, hey, I'm still there and I'm looking out for you. Like, you got this. Maybe it just reminds you more of what you've already lost and it brings you pain. I don't know. But we got the sun, the moon, and the stars in order this time. So you're starting with the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles, it's pre-world energy or minor world energy for me. In this Bread of Life card, maybe like there's a void in your life. Because like there she is ruminating and thinking in this space, and then there's a massive void right in the middle. It's a hole where somebody or something used to be. I would say if you are interested in mediumship, go to somebody who does it. I don't do mediumship. It does feel like someone is trying to like reach you from the other side though. Trying to comfort or console you or offer you something. Maybe trying to be one of your guides or guardians. But it's like every time you feel their presence, it's like you're overwhelmed with grief or something. I don't know. The cards that came out is the Daughter of Wands and the Mason. Maybe there was something that you two were going to do together. Maybe there was something that you were working on. And with this Ace of Pentacles, like it had the opportunity to bring you a lot of abundance materially, a lot of happiness and joy. Um, it feels like it extends beyond just the realm of Pentacles. It really does. And maybe you feel like your time was cut short. And maybe you want to continue on with the idea, but it feels like, the other person was the one that had the ideas, or the other person was the one that had the creativity. And without them, like, I can't complete this by myself. I can't do this alone. And the healer in this deck is crying. I see that tear. This is very like somber. I'm gonna read it this way, and then I'll read it a different way. The moon is death. I think in this death energy, it could be dark. This could be like the space of like, I don't know if I can continue on without you. But I think it may be you also just learning to, maybe you never feel that you'll ever be able to, I don't want to say get over this. Maybe this is somebody that you lost recently. And this, it's giving me the depression energy of the moon card. The cards that came out is the Strength and the Knight of Swords, though. I think what you don't know is that you're going to find the strength to move on. I think after this period of grief, you may begin to see the messages as they are. Like, I want you to be happy. I want you to continue living your life. I want you to move forward. I want you to be fulfilled. I loved you and I cared about you. I love you and care about you still. And I want you to be happy. And I know that, like, through the space of this loss, it may be difficult. But I think there will come a point in time where you can see a message and feel grateful or thankful, or just know that that person, wherever they are, is still like connected to you and looking out for you or watching over you. Also, they may go a little quiet, or that was my experience. So this may not apply for you, but there was someone in my life who I held as a mentor, a very, very important mentor to me. And I wanted him to see me go to college and then graduate from college. But he passed before I even graduated from high school. And for a little bit, I would see him in my dreams. And I would cry. And I would wake up immediately. I would immediately wake up. I would immediately know that I was dreaming because I wanted him to be in my life so bad. And I knew that he was gone. Like, even in a dream, if he popped up, I'm like, I'm dreaming because you're not here anymore. You're gone. And then I'd wake up sad and on the verge of tears. And eventually he stopped popping up in my dreams. I don't know if that's because he moved on or if that's because he didn't want to cause me any more pain, or he's like, man, every time I show up in Patrick Dream, he wakes up and he cries. So if he was trying to tell me something in my dream, or just to be like, I'm proud of you and I'm excited for the life that you're gonna like live, and sorry I couldn't like be there to see you live it and to be there for these moments that you want me to be, but like just know that I'm looking out, or I'm all right, or whatever, right? I don't know, because every time, like as soon as I saw him, I would just start to cry, and it would be like across a distance too. I wasn't even like, hey, like, oh my gosh, like, I hope, like, what's the other side like? I just like wake up, you're not here, I'm dreaming, this isn't real. And I know as I'm talking about it, I'm saying it with like a little bit of levity. Um, this took a turn that I did not expect. The Eight of Pentacles is up here, the Journeyman. This may be you learning to live without that person or without this influence. And that's why this pentacle is up here, sort of like looking down on you as you continue to do your work with the Seven of Pentacles over here. Excuse me. The cards that came out, yep, there it is. Here's the Eight of Pentacles. So it's the giver and the initiate. The giver, the Eight of Pentacles, and the initiate. Six of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles, and the Fool. That's the light of this, or sort of what you see in this situation. I think there is a space of a new guardian here, because that's what the fox, or whatever you see that animal as, speaks of. When you begin the journey, it awakens and it becomes your companion. When you're ready, it will guide you. But until then, it's like, give yourself grace and give yourself time to grieve. But also, don't forget the things that you still have to do. This is Moon in Taurus, um, Air or Uranus, and Virgo. Moon in Taurus, Virgo. I forget what the Eight of Wands or Eight of Pentacles is. I know it's Virgo. Oh, it's literally right here. Sun in Virgo. Sun in Virgo, Moon in Taurus. So that's a harmonious relationship between the sun and the moon. between your external reality and your internal reality. It's like externally, maybe you're putting on a brave face. And it's not putting on a brave face. Externally, you're trying to move forward. Internally, you're kind of sort of still fixed in this. But with the hand above, again, there's an energy here of like, it's still collaborating with you, it's still working with you. It's going to be in a different way. And if you're someone who's spiritual or religious and you believe in the afterlife, if you believe that the people who you lose are still there with you in spirit, this person is there with you in spirit, still collaborating with you, still working with you, still loving you and supporting you in all the ways that they did. But with this full energy here, with the initiate, it's like you learning to hold that relationship in a different way. It reminds me, I used to be into Abraham Hicks, and there was somewhere she lost when Esther lost Jerry, her husband, and they would ask about like their relationship, and she was like, Jerry is still here. He's here in spirit. He still like does all those little Jerry things, but since he's on the other side now, there's so much more that he is like open to or aware of. And it may not be it may be the case. If you are, maybe you have a gift of mediumship yourself, and it's almost like you have maybe a better relationship with them in spirit than you did when they were alive. Maybe this is someone that you didn't necessarily see eye to eye with when you were alive, and maybe you didn't end things in the best way. But if you would have known that like the last time you saw him would be the last opportunity, you would have told him that like you love him or anything like that. Then you would have said it when it was the last time. But it's like when we're free of what ties us to the earthly plane, we're also free to be a lot more than we were when we were here. There's a lot less worry or concern. And so it's almost this energy that could be like, man, like I wish like while they were still here, we could have like talked about this or something like that. Potentially. Again, mediumship is not necessarily within my wheelhouse or my forte. Now, if this is about work, because financial constraints is here and we have a lot of pentacles here, then with this star energy, you've been coming into a position of doing something new. Ace of Pentacles is a whole bunch of new opportunities, new ways of going about living life. Maybe even your diet is changing to improve your health. With the Daughter of Wands and the Three of Pentacles, you may be asked to come into a position where you don't necessarily feel that you have all of the expertise that you need to have. And so maybe you are sitting in a space of not necessarily feeling like you're qualified. Maybe you feel like you're underqualified, but if you get this opportunity, you got it for a reason. What you're not seeing is how much you will be changed because of this, how much you will grow, how much your like realm of knowledge will expand with the Shining Winds card. And it feels like you're also going to come into a new appreciation for yourself if you decide to stick with it, because all of this is going to unfold and because you're going to see yourself transform in so many ways. This could like be a health journey type of thing too, not necessarily just work. Financial constraints could be money problems, familial problems, or health problems for me, because pentacles could be any of those things: money, family, health. The sun of this, you can see that it's going to take quite a bit of work to do this. It's not necessarily going to come easy. But it's like your efforts will be matched. And so if you go slow, you'll have a slow progression. If you go with a little bit of celerity or quickness, then that'll be like you'll catch on quicker than you believe. I think the key here is going to be to not sell yourself short. and to give it your all. And with that Daughter of Wands, it does carry an energy of a novice in some ways, but it also does feel like something that you find enjoyment in, honestly, because it's the Daughter of Wands, right? That's like passion. That's something that you want to do. And maybe if it's something that you really want to do, maybe you've somehow come across your dream job or in the field to your dream job, or like it's a job that is really, really appealing and you don't want to screw it up. You don't want to lose it. If you get too in your head, then you might sort of mess it up. It kind of sort of takes the space of a negative self fulfilling prophecy. So give yourself grace and just do your best because that's all you can do. And as long as you're trying, I feel like it's going to be recognized and appreciated. All right. So, final message for y'all. Got some advice. Advice. Final message. I don't. It could also be. Again, it doesn't necessarily have to be someone that has moved on or has passed away. It could be someone that you were connected to in the past. And so there's almost like some like 5D communication. It's like the subtle, intuitive, spiritual part of you may still be connected to the subtle, intuitive, spiritual part of them. And so they're encouraging you in ways and in different things. Um, but if they're still here, then it may be like okay, message received, but I'd rather talk to you type of energy. Potentially. Take it as it resonates always. The Five of Wands and the Daughter of Pentacles. This is interesting. The Five of Wands in this deck is a card of a lack of focus or a need to focus. Honestly, though, it feels like, if this is related to loss, just like when you're grieving, allow yourself to grieve. Don't be so hard on yourself. If you're a little like scatterbrained or a little forgetful, I don't know, maybe set more reminders on your phone if it's about like things that need to get done. Otherwise, just allow yourself to be and allow yourself to feel and experience what it is that you're going through. Even if the person didn't like pass away, loss is something that we deal with differently, all of us. And when something or someone was a part of your daily routine and they're not anymore, it's going to be a massive shift in your experience, in your day to day life, and you're going to notice it. If this is about career or work or health, what just popped into my mind, it's a message of like diversifying your portfolio. I don't necessarily see that with the Daughter of Wands, but hey, it's advice, okay? I don't know everything. Maybe you want to diversify a little bit. Maybe you want to branch out, literally branch out into something new. Okay, I can see that because it was the Daughter of Wands. Maybe you want to branch out into something new, something that you have a lot of interest in, but you may not necessarily have fully all of the training or certifications or requirements. But I would say don't let that stop you from applying or doing it anyway. If you can get in contact with like HR at that place or like a hiring manager or whatever, maybe chat with them. Talk your situation out with them. I'm actually going to take that as a piece of advice for myself moving forward. But I don't know. It feels like there's a way. Somewhere there's a way. It may not be immediately obvious. You may have to look for it a little bit, but there is a way. And it's going to be a brand new, with that Daughter of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, it's going to be a brand new chapter of your life. because it's going to be like a whole new way of living life, a whole new way of going about life or something. You're setting the foundations for what is to come later. So that's what I got. Now I'm going to get into, I'll say, 2 hours. Mars is in Gemini. What? I just got a notification. So we'll say final messages at 2 hours. And we're going to get the final from the SKT and the Energy Oracle cards. Oh, goodness. So, Energy Oracle cards. Oh, I see the Sun and Indecision at the cut. I see Happy Family with the Sun. Do. I see the World with Happy Family. Heal the world. Make it a better place. The Magician in the Mirror with the World. For you and for me and the entire human race. There are, Broken Heart with the World. Indecision with the Broken Heart. So we're back at Indecision again. We've run a full loop. Okay. Y'all see me shuffling. Ouch. Just like ham that card into my palm. We're going to keep going until one flips over or it comes out. There it is. Who was that? Oh, well, no surprise there. Archangel Raphael for the third time. I'll actually read it this time. Bottom of the deck is the man holding a heart. The man holding a heart. Fourth chakra, Archangel Raphael. Okay. No complaints. There's some heart healing going on right here. Let's celebrate. Celebrate that healing. Come on. We're gonna have a celebration. Celebrate good times. Come on. Is it celebrate good times? Come on. Or celebration time? Come on. Is that another Mandela effect thing? Love, compassion, and self acceptance. Fourth chakra, Archangel Raphael. Raphael extends a beautiful green energy surrounded by gentle waves of pink to your heart center. This card upright indicates that you now have a greater readiness to receive love from others as well as from yourself. It could also indicate that a much needed healing from a previous broken heart is taking place. The tender vibrations of Raphael remind you to encourage yourself with the compassionate self-talk that you desire to hear from others. Know that as you do, the light from your heart center will shine with an irresistible beauty, and the universe will send people and situations that cause your sense of love and support to grow and grow. As you shine in, this man holding a heart see it, and he's like, "Oh snap! Is it my time? Is it time? Is it time now? Or maybe you the man holding the heart. I don't know. It's masculine energy holding the heart. You know, there are masculine energy females or non-masculine identifying folks. There are feminine energy identifying, non-feminine identifying folks. Like one of my Sagittarian friends, she got a lot of masculine energy. Like I would peg her more as masculine energy than feminine energy, but she got that kind of drive, you know. And it's not that feminine energy can't have a drive, um, but you know, I think she would tell you the same. I think she actually said that to me one day, and I was like, yeah, I'm not surprised. And then I definitely have the more feminine energy. Pisces male, feminine energy. Sagittarius female, masculine energy. That was our dynamic, but it worked for us. I love her. Best friend. I love all my best friends. Final message from the SKT. Oop, 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 oop. Is that the 10 of cups with the 7? Bottom of the deck is the 10 of swords. The destroyer. Yeah, the destroyer, 10 of swords. Speaking of feminine energy, there's Kali. There's masculine energy. There's a toxic masculine energy that would try to belittle a feminine energy. That masculine energy was messing with the wrong way. I've seen the 7 of cups and the 10 of cups come out together before. The corruptor and the destroyer. With that open heart energy, I think the open heart is going to be the key. That open heart, that healed heart with Raphael, it's coming in as a result of the 10 of swords. The 10 of swords is it's this space of things that you have to put to bed, things that you have to see in order to work through them, in order to claim what lies beyond. You can't get to the 10 of cups without first getting to the 10 of swords. Swords and cups are connected like that. And the 7 of cups tends to the 7 of swords. That's when we cheat ourselves because we think that we're doing something the easy way. Ain't no easy way. But once you go through that 10 of swords, it actually puts you in a position to heal in ways that you wouldn't have been able to if you didn't allow yourself to experience it. It reminds me of Teen Wolf whenever the wolves would get injured and their bodies wouldn't heal. It's like, okay, I'm going to break your arm to trigger your body's natural healing response, and then it's going to heal the thing that's not healing right now either. You know, there's an immediate pain with the breaking of the arm, but that's the only way to trigger healing. And it's almost like pain cancels out pain, or facing pain cancels out pain. You can also compound pain. Compounding pain isn't great. But that the joyous one, that happily ever after, it's available. You just gotta make it through the corruptor. Don't be corrupted. And that's what I got, y'all. I hope you have a good whatever whenever you see this. I hope that if you sat through this, you found something that helps you or something that resonates for you. Maybe someone in your life will be going through something, and maybe it'll cause you to think about something in a certain type of way. And then maybe you'll have something to share with them. I don't know. I just hope it's useful or helpful. I will catch y'all later. I hope you have a good whatever whenever, and that you're acting in alignment to make that which you wish to experience your reality. And sometimes to make things real, you have to do some things that you wouldn't necessarily think that you'd have to do. It just worked like that. Don't ask me why. Because it works in mysterious ways or whatever, right? What I was healing A. Now I got E. I thought that A and E were unrelated, but you're telling me that I get E now because I've done A? And it's like, yeah, it just worked like that sometimes. That's why whatever spirit is putting in front of you to heal, to resolve, to do, to work through, to be aware of, just be aware. It all ends up playing and dancing together in some kind of way anyway, typically. All right, y'all. Bye.